Welcome, Rebecca Brown here with anotherbunny.com, bringing a review to you of my StablO portable easel. Love this little gadget. I thought about buying it for a long time, and I just bit the bullet because I decided that any of the things that I could have made on my own would not have worked as well. And there are enough really neat features with this that I just wasn't going to be able to replicate and have it be quite so portable. And this little thing, it's been a real game changer this season for sketching on the go, sketching with kids, being able to do watercolors out and about. It's been a real dream, honestly. So I'm using Stillman and Byrne notebooks these days. The two notebooks you'll see in this are both hardbound. They are beta series. I like the thicker paper for watercolors. And you could use an alpha. It's a good paper. It is thinner, so you get more pages in your notebook, but you will get more rippling on your paper. You can use a soft bound cover, but you will need to use some binder clips to hold it on, and then it won't pass the shake test and have it hold on quite as securely, but still extremely functional. It's got these two spots on either side with bungees, so you can bungee whatever you want in there. I've got a hanky that I use as a wiping rag for wiping the paint off my brush, and I bungee my pens kind of off to the other side, but and one's the right side's a little bigger than the left side. There's two little holes up at the top that you could put, and they have a bungee in the hole too, so you can put something a little bit smaller than the hole in there and it'll still stay. So some clever little functionality there. I have these fun binder clips, but this is a really big sketchbook and I'm not very far into it, so had to bust out a larger binder clip. Can never have too many binder clips around, really. So, and that just keeps it from the wind blowing the pages open. Doesn't need to be on there for it to be secure, but yeah. And then there are magnets along that top portion between the two layers of wood, and so it will hold your watercolor tin to it, assuming you have a metal tin, which I have two different ones. One is, one you can very readily available. It's like a 6 full pan one, and I filled those with Daniel Smith watercolors that some of them my sister had bought, some I bought, and we kind of swapped. We shared tubes. And then up here at the top, we have this cup holder. And you can insert that cup holder into either of the bungee spots, or there are 2 spots in the top for those. So there's 4 places altogether where you can tuck those cup holders. And there's also a paintbrush holder, which I just don't use much, honestly. Probably could have just done without it for me personally, but I could see how I might have a season where I use them, where I could want to use it more. I bought an extra. It only comes with one water holder, and I don't even think it comes with either of these cups. And I bought the cup separate, and I bought an extra holder separate, because when I do watercolor with a brush, I like to have a clean water and a dirty water cup. I don't actually use those much though, because as you can see, little hands just like to get in and grab stuff, or I have to quickly set down the whole palette somewhere and keep the kid from running off the cliff or something. So I actually just use water brushes. Wouldn't necessarily consider it superior, but it does the trick. And this is the palette that I've been using most of the time right now. And sometimes I mix it up and put some different colors in there. But yeah, little, pretty clever little setup. I find that, you know, it's a little hard to find exactly where the palette fits when you have the cups in, but wouldn't have that problem with my cute little round palette. And these nice Rosemary & Co. brushes that have, it's very cylindrical, and so they just slide right through a hole that it fits in. So I have a pared down use of the StablO most of the time without any of the extra gadgets. And I made this little pen cozy, and I keep 2 watercolor brushes in it usually, and 2 TWSBI Ecos. That is Teatramentus Document Ink Black. And then in the other one, I think I've got a Noodler's General of the Armies right now, which is mostly waterproof, so it works for what I do it for. And, you know, I don't use most of the other like random little spots most of the time, so but it sets up really fast. Obviously I'm showing you the long way of setting it up, in our sketching groups I get lots of comments. They're like, what is that and where do you get it? It is the neatest. I had to order it from France. I do not know of a retailer in the US that sells it yet, but it was worth it. It didn't take an excessive amount of time, if I recall, and the shipping was also not excessive to the US. So, yep, I just squeeze a little water into my palette and start to hydrate my paints, and I'm good to go. So, I'm going to do a little demo here of a sketch, only I speed it up so it doesn't take forever to get through. I was kind of disappointed with how I really started off center and it was kind of small. I wasn't really happy with it. And then as I was getting into it, I was like, oh, I'm doing a sketch inside of a sketch inside of a video, which I thought was just very humorous. And I kind of offset the StablO to give it a little bit better balance, but it'll do. Hope you enjoyed the review. Keep your eye out for more great videos just like this. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my website, anotherbunny.com, and happy painting!